facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Benji Haya. Coronavirus, the Supreme Court and the QAnon conspiracy theory took centre stage at the rival Trump-Biden town halls on Thursday night. The two candidates face voters rather than facing each other after President Trump declined to take part in a virtual second presidential debate. Here's our US correspondent, Jaguti Dave.
US President Donald Trump's NBC town hall kicked off with a grilling about the coronavirus. Mr. Trump said he didn't remember being tested before the first presidential debate.
I don't know. I don't even remember. I test all the time. But I can tell you this. After the debate, like I guess a day or so, I think it was Thursday evening, maybe even late Thursday evening, I tested positive.
The president denounced white supremacy but failed to condemn the QAnon conspiracy theory. Joe Biden, who's previously advocated for a nationwide mask mandate, in his ABC News town hall admitted it might be difficult to enforce. Biden also said he wasn't a fan of the practice of court packing but didn't rule it out.
Well, I'm not a fan. I then say it depends on how this turns out. Not how he wins, but how it's handled.
Russia has broken its record for new COVID-19 cases, confirming more than 15,000 new ones on Friday. Galina Polanskaya reports from Moscow.
Most of the new cases were registered in the capital, Moscow. Authorities say now the lockdown is not planned, but new restrictions will be introduced next week. From Monday, passengers without masks and gloves will not be allowed in Moscow metro. Children over 11 will have to study from home. Moscovites will also be required to get a QR code in order to enter a bar or a nightclub. Moscow employers are now required to transfer 30% of their staff to work from home. But attempts are still being made to keep the economy running, with Russia even aiming to resume flights to Japan, Serbia and Cuba in November.
Meanwhile, Germany's public health body has warned COVID-19 infections there are now also the highest they've been since the pandemic hit. The country seeing a daily rise in cases as more restrictions are put in place by lawmakers to try to stop the disease spreading even further. Trent Murray is in the German capital.
Over 7,300 cases were registered on Friday. Experts say that increased testing now compared to in March and April explains some of the rise, but there are also concerns about an increasing number of patients suffering serious symptoms from COVID-19 and receiving intensive care treatment. The government says that 655 patients are now in intensive care, with 329 of those on ventilation. Chancellor Angela Merkel is leading a push to try and turn the tide on the resurgence, urging young people to avoid partying together, overseeing curfews in virus hotspots, and encouraging Germans not to travel.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
Okay, what are you wearing right now?
Nothing.
That's right. So mommy's going to teach you how to dress yourself. Underwear always comes first, name tag at the back, then pants, then shirt. Get the first button in the right hole or you have to start all over. Socks going first, then shoes, right on right, left on left. With shoelaces, just take the ends, cross them over, switch the loops, the rabbit goes down the hole, pull tight, and you're left with bunny ears. Got it? Why are your pants on your head?
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
This message is for all of you sitting in the passenger seat. And apologies if it gets a little uncomfortable. But how does it feel to be at the mercy of someone who thinks a random text is more important than your life? Someone who takes their eyes off the road while speeding along in a 3-ton hunk of steel. Freaky, right? Well, why not just ask them to stop? Or better yet, volunteer to text for them. It might be a little awkward, but believe me, you'll live.
Learn more at StopTextStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
We are live outside the home of Joe and Rosie Goddard, where a pretty big tickle fight broke out just minutes ago. Sources say their father instigated the laughter. Let's go inside for a comment. Apparently, they have no comment. Dads, let this be a reminder that it only takes a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
How's it going? I'm having a stroke. Are you going to shake my hand? I'm having a stroke. Wow, you're not even moving your arm. I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit stroke AmericanStrokeAssociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
The following is a production of Fenix Media. The views expressed do not necessarily represent those of the company or its advertisers and may contain language that's unsuitable for younger listeners.
Laugh it up, fuzzball.
I'm about to do to you what Limp Bizkit did to music in the late 90s.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Here goes the last DJ.
Gentlemen, I wash my hands of this weirdness.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this brand new episode of the Kristian Fenix Radio Show. It is Friday, October 16th. We are your daily dose of laughs and levity in a crazy, crazy world. I'm joined by my co-host, Tony Sanfilippo. Tony, how you doing on this Friday? We made it through a week of shows on the new network, and I think it went pretty smooth overall.
Yeah, it went smooth. There are little bugs here and there, but that's okay. It's to be expected with our show, and I am tired today, but we'll get through this, because you know why? Damn, it feels good to be a gangster. Let's roll.
Well, the good news is that even though you probably have to work at your normal job tomorrow, you get to sleep in a little bit, so recharge those batteries.
A whole lot of sleep, but a little recharge.
Yeah, every little bit helps. I always look forward to Saturday when, I get up so early to, start prepping for the show and put the show together and then, obviously be live on air. But come Saturday, I love sleeping in. Nothing like
sleeping in is a good thing. I mean, don't really know what that is, but all right.
All right, well, let's kick off today's show the way we do each and every day with a question from my co-host while he looks for his earbud or something that he dropped.
Yep.
All right, Tony, going to ask you to put your hypothetical hat on again. Say you are a news anchor at a major news network and, sort of like Ron Burgundy. What sort of things could you do that would get you fired?
Oh, well, reading the teleprompter. If you legit read everything, you curse on air. If you say anything that's offensive, controversial, there's so many avenues. You see it all the time. A lot of tweets. People put out tweets from the past or current that's something that really affects somebody in a hurtful or mean manner. That's been getting a lot of people in a lot of hot water. So there you go. There's a handful of them.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm curious to see where this one's going to go.
Well, I picked this one out just for you, Tony. When Adam Sandler's recent Netflix movie, Hubie Halloween, started production in Massachusetts last year, it provided jobs to dozens of local actors. As it turns out, the film also cost a local news anchor her job. Elena Pinto, a former morning anchor for WHDH Channel 7 News in Boston, announced on Twitter Thursday morning that she was terminated by the station due to a contract violation for appearing in the movie. She said, "Hi friends, I have some news to share. Earlier this week, I was let go from 7 News. I'm posting this because I want to be open and honest with all of you. Last year, I participated in a cameo in the recently released Netflix movie by Adam Sandler, Hubie Halloween. In doing so, I mistakenly violated my contract with the station, and I understand why management unfortunately chose to terminate me. I'm deeply disappointed and saddened, and I hoped this would not be how things evolved. Thanks to my wonderful 7 News viewers and my supportive and great colleagues at the station, reporting the news to you every morning was an honor and a privilege. Station management did not return a request for comment regarding Pinto's termination. In Hubie Halloween, which hit Netflix earlier this month, Pinto plays a news anchor for the fictional Channel 4 morning news and its morning show Wake Up Boston. In the scene, she discusses Salem's upcoming Halloween festivities and jokes with fellow female news station employees who have all chosen to dress up like DC Comics character Harley Quinn for Halloween. I understand why she lost the job, but losing the job over that terrible movie, probably not worth it.
No, I bet Sandler or Happy Madison Productions will probably do something for her, and I'm sure she'll land on her feet. There'll be another station local that'll probably want to sign her at some point if she was a good anchor. I read that article last night too, and I was just like, for what? All she did was play a news report. It's not like she used her real name or something, but and I guess if it's in the contract, it's in the contract. It's the fine print.
Yeah, it's not like she made her work look bad by doing this. I mean, she's a news anker who,
and she wasn't dressed like, slutty or offensive. I mean, she was just like Harley Quinn. Like, there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, and actually, that was probably one of the jokes in the movie that actually did pay off. It was funny that they were all dressed like Harley Quinn. Other than that,
Halloween is among us.
I think Adam Sandler's just too old at this point to pull off those weird, child voices. His more recent movies where he plays a grown-up adult, much better than this terrible.
Hey, KG, I got this rock for you, KG.
I do have to say that the saving grace of that movie was Steve Buscemi's character.
Yeah.
he was the only funny part of it.
You know what's funny? There was I watched a top 10, ties from Hubie Halloween to previous Adam Sandler movies. He had a lot of throwbacks, and Steve Buscemi's character was actually a throwback to his Hotel Transylvania character.
Oh, no kidding.
A werewolf.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
He voiced the werewolf in there, so there was a little tie-in, and then the crazy old lady at the end that said something
spoiler
about
alert. No, I'm
that
just
made
kidding.
her hella horny. That weird lady. That's the old lady from Billy Madison that said, "If peeing your pants is cool, consider me Miles Davis." Same lady. Same lady.
I noticed that there were a lot of tie-ins. I didn't put those two together though.
Yep.
Well, folks, it is Friday. We have a wonderful show lined up for you today. As we do each and every Friday, we have good news, everyone. We like to take you into the weekend on an up note. We have a segment called Adult Jokes in Kids Movies. Love when they do that. Our call-in topic today is your real haunted house experience. We have the G-Man joining us later on with his matchups for NFL Week 6. We have this.
He's on fire! Spoiler alert.
We have This Day in History, and Tony's up next with the entertainment news. You know what? I forgot to play the Friday song.
It's Friday, gotta get down on Friday. Everybody's looking forward to the weekend.
We are looking forward to the weekend, but folks, not before we have to take a break. Come back for entertainment news with Tony Sanfilippo. We'll see you guys in a few.
Keyboard Cat, Hamilton the Pug, and Toast Meets World. These are some of the internet's most beloved pets. And they all have one thing in common. Their stories started in a shelter. Start your story. Adopt a dog or cat today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Training that pet to play the keyboard, that's optional. Start a story. Adopt a shelter or rescue pet today. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Okay, what are you wearing right now?
Nothing.
That's right. So mommy's gonna teach you how to dress yourself. Underwear always comes first, name tag at the back, then pants, then shirt. Get the first button in the right hole or you have to start all over. Socks going first, then shoes, right on right, left on left. With shoelaces, just take the ends, cross them over, switch the loops, the rabbit goes down the hole, pull tight, and you're left with bunny ears. Got it? Why are your pants on your head?
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
How's it going? I'm having a stroke. Are you going to shake my hand? I'm having a stroke. Wow, you're not even moving your arm. I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
The storks are bringing me a baby brother.
We can do this together.
All right, let's go.
Storks know how to keep kids safe. Do you?
What?
Oh my gosh, you don't know.
I know.
You don't. Oh man, you laugh when you're uncomfortable.
No. Making sure your child is in the right car seat is one of the steps to safer travel.
I will rock this.
You will rock this.
To know for sure that your child is in the right car seat for their age and size, visit safercar.gov/the right seat. Cool. Very cool. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do.
Know someone being bullied online? You can be a witness and make a difference by letting the world know it isn't cool and by letting your friend know you care. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Get everything you need for the Kristian Fenix radio show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. And we are back, folks. This is the Kristian Fenix radio show. It is Friday, October 16th. Now we have a thing called the Fenix Line. It's a 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week voicemail line giving you guys the opportunity to chime in on anything whatsoever. You can tell us how you're feeling. You can reach out about any topic. Maybe you loved Hubie Halloween, and we're just being...
Yes, I do, because Halloween is among us. That's right. Thank you, Vicky Vanacourt.
To get a hold of us on the Fenix Line, that number is 855-PHOENIX-RADIO. That's 855-FENIX-RDO or 855-336-4973. All we ask is that you keep it entertaining. We will compile those together and put them out in a future show. Now it is the second segment of this show. That means Tony's here with the entertainment news.
Good morning, everybody. It is another entertainment edition of the Filippo Fast Five. Let's go. All right, so Halloween Kills was supposed to come out this Halloween. That was the latest in Michael Myers' Halloween stories. Well, no matter what, it will release in October 21, says Jason Blum. So no matter what, it's coming out October 21. So you have to wait a year. Buck Rogers' movie is in development at Legendary Pictures. Okay. Chiefs. It's kind of a slow day in the entertainment world, let me tell you. Chiefs signed Le'Veon Bell to a one-year deal as the former Jets running back prioritizes winning. That's bad news for Broncos fans. And Raiders fans. You can't.
Remix.
Well, that's a lot of hot. That was a lot. Remix. You can't see him because John Cena just got married to Shay. Oh, I'm going to sit Filippo the heck out of her name. Sharia Tazedeh.
Sure.
In Tampa, Florida.
All right.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it is long, bro. But now it's just Shay Cena, so it doesn't matter. And guess what? He's back. Conor McGregor says he'll fight Dustin Poirier in the UFC bout on January 23rd. Apparently he retired. I'm done. Well, he's back. And ding, ding, ding. Saint Dog of the Cottonmouth Kings. He's a rapper. Passed away at 44. Remember we saw Cottonmouth Kings at the Boarding for Boobs Festival in Tahoe?
I do. They weren't the reason we went to that festival.
No, we met Linkin Park before they were big at that festival in Static X.
Yep, right.
POD was there.
Yep. I remember it clearly because we were right outside a row of outhouses. Porta potties.
Just chatting with Chester, Mike, and Joe.
Yeah.
Mr. Hahn. Yeah, that was random.
That was fun.
Have their autograph on the back of a Rob, Arnie, and Don card.
That's right. I forgot about
That's
that.
all I had, back in the day. That's what you had. So I have their autographs on a piece of crap paper. But hey, I got it. But anyways, that was your entertainment news right there. That is your Filippo 5. Now the actual entertainment news, to try to not make it all Star Wars and Disney related. Adam McKay is doing a new Netflix comedy called Don't Look Up. And it's set place in and he has put together one of the most star-studded casts in recent film history. Jennifer Lawrence has long been attached to the project. Deadline confirmed that the following actors are set to join her in this: Leonardo DiCaprio, Cate Blanchett, Jonah Hill, Rob Morgan, Himesh Patel, Timothy Chalamet, Ariana Grande, Kid Cudi, or Kid Cudi, I guess.
Yeah.
It is, right? Kid Cudi, yeah, it's not Cudi. He actually was in Bill and Ted Face the Music. Matthew Perry and Tomer Sisley. McKay is writing and directing his follow-up to Vice. As previously reported, Don't Look Up will star Lawrence as a low-level astronomer who discovers along with her partner that a giant asteroid is heading toward Earth and will destroy it. The scientists embark on a tour around the country warning the population about its inevitable death. But people aren't so quick to believe them or care. So in February, THR reported that the budget was around $75 million. But Netflix told IndieWire at the time that number was not correct. I don't know why that was important, but McKay said it's not a Step Brothers type comedy. I would compare it more between the Mike Judge stuff and Wag the Dog. A hard, funny satire is what we're going for. So it doesn't say when it'll be released, but sounds like for a Netflix movie, that's a huge win right there with a star-studded cast.
Oh, totally. It's funny because whenever you say Adam McKay, I automatically think like goofball comedies like Step Brothers. But recently he's been making more serious movies, things like that. And then when you were reading the description, it sounded like a straight drama. Sounds like it'll be a little bit of a mix of comedy and drama.
Yeah, right in the middle there.
Hey, worth checking out.
Sweet satire, yeah.
Especially if it's on Netflix.
You ever watch the show You on Netflix?
No.
The little stalker show?
Nope.
Well, you should. It's actually pretty entertaining. Anyway, season 2 left on a kind of a cliffhanger, but or not cliffhanger, but it just you knew like a season 3 was coming. Well,
okay.
Season 3 just added 2 new cast members to their drama. Shalita Grant will play Sherry, a mom influencer who appears down to earth, but is actually a mean girl who only pretends to welcome Love into her social circle. Love was his spoiler alert. That was his girl that he had.
I thought it was the concept of love.
Yeah, no. So if you've never watched the show, maybe you want to just skip through this. I'll give you just a second. Okay. So at the end, like, he ends up with this girl. Like, he was in the first season, he stalks one girl. The first season was way better than 2. So the whole thing is about his obsession with one girl, and then she ends up dying because of him, and then he falls in love with another girl, but turns out she's just as crazy as him. They have a kid together, they move in. Well, now he has the urges for another girl next door. That's how that ends.
Okay.
So I don't know. And then Travis Van Winkle plays the wealthy Carrie who invites Joe, played by Penn Badgley, into his inner circle. So so many little circles. I can only imagine he is going to stalk the neighbor. But if you're into that show, there you go. It's actually pretty entertaining.
Yeah, Jesse watched it, at least the first season, and I'd walk in and catch bits and pieces. It seemed a little too Gossip Girl for me. And,
it is a little Gossip. Well, he's from Gossip Girl, I think, so
that's
that
right.
probably is why.
Okay, all right, that makes sense.
But no, the first season way better than 2. 2 kind of, but this first season was good. Moving on to some Disney news. Lego Star Wars Holiday Special is announced. Disney Plus announced the expanded voice cast for its Lego Star Wars Holiday Special, which is going to premiere for the streaming service this November. Anthony Daniels, Billy D. Williams, and Kelly Marie Tran, reprising C-3PO, Lando, and Rose Tico, have signed on to reprise their roles. Alongside Star Wars, the Clone Wars vets Matt Lanter, who played Anakin, Tom Kane, who voiced Yoda and Qui-Gon, James Arnold Taylor, who did Obi-Wan's voice, and D. Bradley Baker, who did the Clone Troopers. They will all voice in this holiday special. It hits November 17th, the same day that the original Star Wars Holiday Special aired on CBS in 1978.
Now, I wonder if they're going to bring back the original holiday special for Disney Plus, because it was terrible.
It was awful. Yeah, this looks to be a lot better than that. I don't know how much better, but it's got to be a little bit better, right?
We'll see.
I did see a bootleg version of the holiday special on YouTube. Oof.
Not great.
Not good. And I'm a Star Wars geek, and it just is not good. Speaking of geeking out for Star Wars stuff, The Mandalorian Season 3 is going to begin filming before the end of this year. Mandalorian executive producer and showrunner Jon Favreau has confirmed the production of Season 3 of the popular Disney Plus Star Wars series is on track to begin before the end of the year. A specific date was not revealed, though leading man Pedro Pascal is currently in Croatia. I can't read today. Croatia filming scenes for the 2021 action comedy, The Unbearable Weight of the Massive Talent, alongside Nicolas Cage. That's what he's filming right now. Okay. Favreau also admitted the Mandalorian team are amendable and in the potential of a movie emerging from the Mandalorian universe, though he stressed he's in no rush to see the show as anything but a streaming series for now. He did confirm that they will also do a season 4. So,
okay.
All in that, they're going to do a 3 and 4. So we got a lot more Mando coming, and that's exciting because we are 2 weeks away.
We are, yeah.
From tomorrow.
Chomping at the bit.
Halloween. Actually, 2 weeks from today. 2 weeks from the day on the 30th.
Nice.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So here we go, Star Wars fans, and then we got a minute.
Minute and a half.
Yeah, you got and there's not a lot of birthdays, so let's see. We got one more. Disney investor is urging the company to move Marvel's Black Widow to streaming. So a top Disney investor wants the company to move its blockbuster potential, the twice-delayed Black Widow, to just bypass movie theaters and come straight to Disney Plus. This comes days after the company announced a restructuring that would immediately shift its primary focus to Disney Plus, ESPN Plus, and Hulu platforms. With the success of Mulan's $29.99 premiere access fee and Pixar's Soul straight to streaming, they really want to get Black Widow out to just kind of get the ball rolling. And I think at this point, good idea.
I agree. I wouldn't do it for all Marvel movies moving forward, but at least for Black Widow, just with the timing of everything, stop sitting on it. Go ahead and release it.
Absolutely. And that's it for your entertainment news. Let's rush through the birthdays today. All right, birthday kids. John Mayer, that dirty slut, is 42. Bryce Harper, who should have never left the Phillies, should have never left the Nats for the Phillies, 28. Flea, 58, that damn Needles. And Angela Lansbury is 95. Suzanne Summers, 74. Tim Robbins, 62. Happy birthday. Oh, Chad Gray of Mudvayne, 49. That's your celebrity birthdays today.
Very cool. Well, that does it for the entertainment news. When we come back, it's good news, everyone. We're going to take you into the weekend on an up note. Folks, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. Look at this little face. How could you not love him?
Hamilton the Pug, Instagram star and shelter pet. Amazing adoption stories start in shelters. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
You make sure his toys don't have any sharp edges. You taught her what to do when the smoke alarm goes off. You do so much to keep your child safe. But are you using the right car seat for your child? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Protect your child's future at every stage of life. For information on the right seat for your child, visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat.
A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
So you see, son, good manners are important. Should I go through it again?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Exactly. Always say please, thank you, you're welcome, and excuse me. Sit up straight, hold doors open. Don't speak with your mouth full. Keep your elbows off the table. Share your things, play nice, and generally treat others the way you'd like to be treated. Got it?
Got it.
And stop picking your nose.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
I'm a retired school psychologist, and helping people was my thing. After my stroke, when Meals on Wheels started, I was on the other end of the stick, so to speak. My name is Julius Gaines, creative writer, poet, photographer.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
It may be hard to believe, but people just like you are already saving money. FeedThePig.org makes it easy. Their simple savings plan teaches you how to start saving without going overboard. So you don't need to start foraging wild berries.
I was skeptical, but these are actually pretty good.
You don't need to sell your soul to the devil.
$15 is the best I can do.
You just need FeedThePig.org. Don't get left behind. Get tips and tools at FeedThePig.org. Brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
Welcome to Calvin's Barbershop.
You all gotta see this.
I don't even want to know what you're looking at on that phone.
Well, you should. I was learning about the dangers of high blood pressure and that we need to get ours checked regularly. High blood pressure can increase the risk of heart attack or stroke, but this text program can help keep it at a healthy range. Just text Barbershop to 97779 to sign up.
I'll get right on it as soon as I'm done with this baby panda video.
Text Barbershop to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
Get everything you need for the Kristian Fenix Radio Show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. And we are back, folks. This is the Kristian Fenix Radio Show. It is Friday, October 16th. Now, we are all over social media with many of you watching us right now on Facebook Live. If you want to get a hold of me on social media, I'm available at facebook.com/Kristian Fenix Radio. That's Christian with a K, Phoenix with an F, radio, of course, with an R, or on Instagram at Kristian Fenix. Tony's available at facebook.com/Tony.Sanfilippo. That's SANFILIPPO. 94 or on Instagram at Tony.Sanfilippo81. Now, it is Friday, and something like we like to do every Friday, and something we brought over from the old network, is a thing called Good News, everyone. We like to take everybody into the weekend on an up note with inspiring stories about people doing good things for good reasons. And so there's a lot of bad news out there, but in this case, it's all
good news, everyone.
So I'm going to go ahead and kick things off. Says after his son was mocked and insulted with homophobic slurs during a school dance performance, Dad Greg Long, that's his last name.
Dad Greg Long
took action, but not in an angry way. Long established a nonprofit organization aimed at eliminating bullying and supporting dancers who are in financial need. Long's son, who has been dancing competitively since he was 6 years old, was 14 at the time. In a new episode of Dad's Got This, hosted by today's Craig Melvin, the father-son duo talked about how the negative experience set them on a unique path. Long said, some of the students were saying derogatory comments and some slurs. Instead of getting upset about the reaction to his son's performance, Long let it inspire him. Again, he said, I got to listen to how 8 or 9 or 12-year-olds process that kind of bigotry and homophobia. Instead of getting angry, I decided to make a t-shirt for them. And I came up with, hey, we're just going to dance on. We're just going to move this past. No, we're going to move past this. I'm a little dyslexic today. Now the hashtag Dance On nonprofit has sold thousands of shirts and created scholarships that go directly to dancers in need of financial aid. The organization also hosts master classes and events with professional male dancers who often share their own stories of being bullied growing up, and choreographs conceptual dance videos that amplify the hashtag DanceOn's message of acceptance and tolerance. In 2018, Jimmy spoke about the organization's anti-bullying method before former First Lady Michelle Obama took the stage to launch the book tour for her memoir, Becoming. Jimmy's father said, I lost it. I admittedly had tears coming down my face because the strength that it takes for somebody like that to stand in front of 20,000 people and say, I've been bullied and I'm not going to let it stop me from what I like to do. It was a proud moment. Long said that the experience of watching his son develop resilience while following his passion has been humbling above all else. He said, "It's been nice to be a part of this as opposed to just being a dad who claps very loudly in the back of the auditorium. I definitely couldn't have done this without my dad," Jimmy said. "He helped me realize a lot of important lessons like stay true to yourself, and he is just super supportive." So just, a great dad supporting his son for what his son loves to do, regardless of what that may be, unless you're Dexter's dad, supporting a serial killer.
Yeah, Harry was not a good influence. Dexter, you got to control your urges. What will you do?
But in this
I guess
case,
you better chop him up and throw him in the lake on a little slice of heaven boat you drive.
But in this case, I would say that it is
good news, everyone.
How about you, Tone? What is your good news?
Oh, good news, everyone. So, in The Mandalorian, Baby Yoda, aka the child, has a habit of popping up in places where grown men fear to tread and facing danger head-on with the wisdom beyond his years. Perhaps it was outsized courage of the dismissive Disney hero that inspired one big-hearted little boy to tap the foot-tall green toddler from a galaxy far away from a perilous but crucial assignment. When Carver and his grandmother, Sasha Tinning, were put together supplies to send to the first responders battling California's latest outbreak of wildfires, the 5-year-old spotted a solitary plush toy, Baby Yoda, sitting on the shelf. When he truly understood the exhausting emotion toll tirelessly fighting the devastating infernos was taking on fire crews, the 5-year-old's course of action was immediately clear. That's because, like Baby Yoda, Carver is wise beyond his years. "I have always wanted to help and uplift anybody that's around me, and this really was a bright spot in a dark time I wanted to share with everybody," he told KSAT. Along with his grandmother's help and a handwritten note that read, "Thank you, firefighters. Here's a friend for you in case you get lonely. Love, Carver." Carver sent Baby Yoda on a mission of comfort and care to the front lines. Sporting a jaunty Stars and Stripe headband, the alien mascot has since traveled to the sites of numerous West Coast hotspots, bringing solace to the brave women and men battling the blazes there. Highlights and exploits have been chronicled on his own Baby Yoda Firefights Facebook page. So after the show, you can check that out. While Star Wars fans may be most familiar with Yoda's famous refrain, "A Jedi's strength flows from the Force," the astute Jedi Master also believed truly wonderful the mind of a child is. One thing we know for certain, the Force is strong with Carver.
That's awesome.
That's it.
And
it is cute. There's a bunch of little pictures of the firefighters posing with Baby Yoda all over the fires during like little breaks and stuff like that. So very cool, and it's neat that this young man he's a little kid. It's just cool that he's so young that he gets it.
Yeah. And I have no doubt that, Disney does this all the time, that when they catch wind of a story like this, I halfway expect Jon Favreau to reach out to him, or Pedro Pascal, or Ewan McGregor, folks from the Star Wars universe to, come back with words of encouragement and support, and, really take advantage of what he's been doing with a symbol like Baby Yoda.
Right. It's just so cool. Just awesome to see things, especially, when they're so young, and instead of him being like, "Oh, I want Baby Yoda for myself," and being selfless, he pulled a selfless act and gave it instead of selfish.
Yeah. Well,
not that it would be selfish to want it yourself. There's nothing wrong with that,
right.
But the selfless act in its own is just awesome.
Right. And he gave it to people who are being selfless themselves. I mean, these firefighters are out there working really long hours and putting their lives in danger to try and stop almost the unstoppable. I mean, these wildfires have been just going out of control, and it's terrifying. But every little bit of hope, like this Baby Yoda and what little Carver is doing, is in my book
good news, everyone.
So it's we love doing these stories. We love the feedback on people hearing the good that's coming out of the world when there's so much negativity, especially at this time in with what we're dealing with. So in any case, folks, that does it for another edition of Good News, everyone. When we come back, we have adult jokes and kids movies. You won't want to miss it. Come on back.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do.
Know someone being bullied online? You can be a witness and make a difference by letting the world know it isn't cool and by letting your friend know you care. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Keyboard Cat, Hamilton the Pug, and Toast Meets World. These are some of the internet's most beloved pets. And they all have one thing in common. Their stories started in a shelter. Start your story. Adopt a dog or cat today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Training that pet to play the keyboard, that's optional. Start a story. Adopt a shelter or rescue pet today. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Allison is perfect. I mean, she'd never tell you that. She's humble and perfect. She likes everyone. She even likes her untidy roommate's weird guinea pig. Allison, wait, are you texting and driving? Allison, no. That's the exact opposite of what I was just saying about you. Why, Allison? Why? Texting and driving makes good people look bad. Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
We are live outside the home of Joe and Rosie Goddard, where a pretty big tickle fight broke out just minutes ago. Sources say their father instigated the laughter. Let's go inside for a comment. Apparently, they have no comment. Dads, let this be a reminder that it only takes a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
The storks are bringing me a baby brother! We can do this together!
All right, let's go. Storks know how to keep kids safe. Do you?
Oh my gosh, you don't know.
I know.
You don't? Oh man, you laugh when you're uncomfortable.
No. Making sure your child is in the right car seat is one of the steps to safer travel.
I will rock this!
You will rock this! To know for sure that your child is in the right car seat for their age and size, visit safercar.gov/the right seat. Cool. Very cool. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
It's important to plan ahead for emergencies, like the storm. When it kicked in, we had a plan.
Separated.
We were able to get in touch with each other in no time.
Idea how to find each other.
The whole experience was fine.
The most frightening 10 hours of my life.
If there's one piece of advice I'd offer other moms out there, it's to stay calm and keep to the plan.
Message.
Some parents plan ahead, some don't. Make sure you know where to find your family in an emergency. Start your plan at ready.gov. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Get everything you need for the Kristian Fenix Radio Show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. And we are back. This is the fourth segment, final segment of the first hour. We still have plenty of show ahead. This is the Kristian Fenix Radio Show. It is Friday, October 16th. Now, if you missed a portion of the show or you want to go back and catch up on any of the previous shows, it's easy enough to do so. Head over to phoenixmedia.us, click on the shows, scroll on down to the Kristian Fenix Radio Show. From there, you can get video, you can get audio as well. Or head over to wherever you get podcasts, Apple, Google, Stitcher, Spotify, Anchor, Breaker, TuneIn, iHeart, about 20 in all. While you're there, be sure to subscribe. That way you always have the latest episode. Leave a review, let us know what you think, and tell your friends because sharing is caring. Now,
yeah, it is.
I wanted to apologize to everybody on that last break. We got out of the segment a little bit early. There was about 20 seconds of dead air between the end of the segment and the commercial because, well, the system hadn't loaded up the commercial breaks yet. So we had to wait the 20 seconds until it loaded it. But in any case, you know, that's all the joys of moving to a new network, working with a new system. But we're working out the bugs, and we'll keep things as smooth as possible. Now, this segment, I wanted to talk about adult jokes in kids' movies. It was probably when I was a teenager that I realized that in movies like Ghostbuster, all of the innuendo that came out of it, from the gatekeeper and the keymaster, to basically when Ray Stantz is laying in bed and the ghost is hovering over him and his belt buckle starts to come out. As a kid, had no idea what it meant.
And he makes that face,
Oh, yeah.
like, as a kid, I'm like, what the hell is that? Well, as an adult, you get it. It was kind of like the lady yesterday that had sex with ghosts.
Right. Yeah.
She was Mrs. Stantz.
Now, movies like that, obviously, they had a lot of adult humor in family-friendly comedies. But kids' movies, when we were younger and growing up, really didn't have that. It wasn't really until Pixar came along and like Shrek and sort of the new wave of CGI movies that kids' movies were written for both adults and kids. And so the kids can laugh at the kids' stuff and then adults can laugh at the adult stuff. And so wanted to run down a list of adult jokes in kids' movies, something that if you're watching with the kids you can watch out for, or you may have missed on the first go around. Tony, for you, is there anything that sort of sticks out as far as something you may have seen as a kid that just went over your head, and then as an adult you were like, oh, I get it now?
Well, just the joke, really, like as the famous one, like, which I'm not gonna say it, but there is an adult joke that my mom taught me as a kid that I didn't get till I was older.
The Kermit joke.
Something to do with Kermit the Frog. If you know me, you can ask me. I'm not going to do it on the air because it's not really appropriate. We have little ones watching. It's going to go over their heads. So, but as far as movies go, there's a lot of old ones you can go back and just be like, wow, there's a lot of sexual innuendo in there, and they were like PG movies.
Right.
So yeah, there's a ton of them.
Well, here's a more recent example. For instance, the Lego Batman movie. You were just talking about Lego Star Wars. Well, Bruce Wayne and Dick Grayson are walking through the party where they meet each other, and Dick says, "My name's Richard Grayson, but all the kids at the orphanage call me Dick." To which Bruce Wayne replies, "Well, children can be cruel." Brilliant. I love it.
That is a good one.
Mrs. Doubtfire. Mrs. Doubtfire was a fun, wholesome movie starring Robin Williams. Well, there's a few moments in the movie, but specifically when Mrs. Doubtfire is trying to intimidate Pierce Brosnan's character and make him uncomfortable at dinner. Mrs. Doubtfire keeps saying things like how he needs to be up for a bit of cunning linguistics and how he'll be up against a bit of competition in the bedroom as Sally Field's character has got her own personal jackhammer. Definitely all stuff that went way over our heads as a kid and that we picked up later upon rewatching.
Dang, I haven't gone back and watched that movie in a long time, but wow.
Now, can you think of a more wholesome kids movie than Cars? My boys grew up on the Cars movies. They loved them. But there were a few adult jokes in there that were perfect for us and obviously went way over the heads of the kids. One coming to mind is when the two little Miata twins, they flashed their high beams.
There you go. There's a good one.
And
Oh, go ahead.
Oh no! What I was gonna say is there's a sort of a blink and you miss it moment where at the truck stop, where it's the top-down truck stop, there's a little sign along the bottom that says "All convertible waitresses," meaning they're taking those tops down.
Go. Disney's no stranger to a lot of those dirties.
Oh.
Like when we were kids, there was the priest in Little Mermaid.
Yep.
Dearly beloved, and he popped the Woodrow. Yep.
But those were snuck in. Those weren't done on purpose like these are. Yeah, of course, there's the Little Mermaid box art that had to have been recalled.
The special Richard Grayson there, Dick Grayson.
Exactly.
Yeah, Dick Grayson.
Moving on, I mentioned, one of the first movies to really start incorporating adult humor with kids' humor is Shrek. So many in there, but when Shrek and Donkey are looking up at Lord Farquaad's castle, Shrek says, "Do you think maybe he's compensating for something?" and gives a little chuckle and nudge toward Donkey. Of course, if you're a kid, that doesn't make any sense. If you are an adult, it's basically the same as somebody driving around a giant lifted monster truck.
Oh yeah, Lord Farquaad. Play the movie. Yeah, play.
Yeah. Those were good movies, though I think they got a little long in the tooth by, what, the 4th or 5th or 6th one?
Well, I don't know how many they have. I thought they only did... Is there only 4?
I think it's 4. I think, yeah.
I kind of fell out of it after that. I think I watched the 3rd. I don't know. I don't remember. There was one when I know we were on a cruise and you weren't feeling good and you watched one.
Yeah, I forget which one it was. But well, moving on with adult jokes in kids' movies. Toy Story 2. At the end of the movie, after Jesse performs a stunt to open the door, Buzz gets excited and his wings pop out.
Oh, yeah. I caught that one. Even as a younger teenager, I was like, "Whoa, okay."
Yeah, that one was pretty easy to pick up if you're a certain age or above. How about Ratatouille? This one was subtle, but and I didn't even know until I read through the list. So when Linguini is trying to admit to Colette that Remy is helping him under his hat, he says, "I've got a little tiny," and then for a split second, she looks down at his lower region.
Yeah. Oh, that's pretty good. I haven't seen Ratatouille, so I don't know that one.
You haven't seen it? Oh, that's a fun one.
No, never seen it. Yeah.
And there's a little GIF that shows it here, and we'll post it up onto our Facebook page. So if you guys want to review these or go back, you certainly can at facebook.com/Kristian Fenix Radio.
There was one in Aladdin too. There was when the genie is singing Prince Ali and they're doing the march. It says, "I thought the earth wasn't supposed to move until the honeymoon," which is just a reference of that. There's some good stuff, you know.
Yep. Beauty and the Beast from 1991. When Beast decides he wants to do something for Belle, he doesn't know what. Cogsworth says, "Oh, there's the usual flowers, chocolates, promises you don't intend to keep." That's more just of a adult relationship humor than sexual innuendo.
Yeah. I was seeing too in Frozen, in the first one, when Kristoff is with Anna, she says, he's like, "Foot size?" She goes, "Foot size doesn't matter." It's gonna go over your head if you're a kid.
Exactly. And foot size doesn't matter.
Foot size doesn't matter.
What about the live-action remake of Scooby-Doo from 2002, where Shaggy's sitting on Shaggy's sitting on a plane next to a gorgeous blonde who he takes an interest in, and she says, "I'm Mary Jane," to which Shaggy replies, "That's my favorite name."
Like Scoob, no one's gonna know we like to smoke pot.
And of course, it's always hinted at that Shaggy especially is, the stoner of the group. And
Shaggy is a hella stoner, dude. Even as a little kid in the new one, Scoob, little dude be eating sandwiches for days. Little stoner. Ain't nothing wrong with being a stoner, but Shag was a stone, dude.
I wonder if Scooby snacks are a euphemism for edibles.
Yeah. And I wonder if Shaggy's a euphemism for rugs.
Stroke the furry wall.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Adult jokes in kids' movies. You had the live-action remake of How the Grinch Stole Christmas from the year 2000. There's literally a swingers party happening when they're all putting their keys in a bucket. This person said, "I asked my mom about it when I saw it in 4th grade, and she said, 'Oh, they're putting their keys away because they're drinking and shouldn't drive home.' That made sense to me until a few years ago."
I didn't catch that.
I didn't catch that one either, but...
Wow. Something's going down in Whoville.
Yeah. Well, when you're
wow.
when you're rewatching here, in the Christmas holiday, something to keep in mind. All right, moving on with
parties.
adult humor in kids movies. The movie Mulan, not the live-action remake that was just released, but the 1998 animated feature. Says there's quite a few in this movie, but specifically when they're singing "A Girl Worth Fighting For." The whole song has a bunch of innuendos, and all of the guys even sing, "You can guess what we have missed the most since we went off to war." I can guess what they missed most.
Yeah. A lot of stuff. It's funny, Lacey just sent me one too. There was a Breaking Bad reference in Zootopia. The sheep was making the blue meth, but obviously there's something else in the movie.
That's right.
It's not really sexual, but definitely adult-orientated that would go over a kid's head.
And there is a Zootopia one on the list, which I think we're going to get to here in just a second. But next up on the list is a movie that we talked about earlier in the week, Hocus Pocus from 1993. You have the bus driver who stops for the Sanderson sisters, and the door opens, and Bette Midler says, "We desire children," to which the bus driver replies, "It may take me a couple tries, but I don't think that'll be a problem." he wants to give them children the old-fashioned way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean. All right. We just mentioned it, Zootopia from 2016. Sort of an underrated Disney movie.
I liked it.
I did too. Fun one to watch. The bunny is writing a ticket, and she says, I'm just a dumb bunny, but we are good at multiplying. And she doesn't mean math.
No. Like rabbits.
Speaking of rabbits, one of my favorite movies growing up, Who Framed Roger Rabbit from 1988. Eddie says to Dolores, "You go downtown to the courthouse and check the probate." Roger replies, "Yeah, check the probate. Why, my Uncle Thumper had a problem with his probate, and he had to take these big pills and drink lots of water." Eddie says, "Not prostate, you idiot, probate." Again, little things that as a kid you have no idea what it means, but they're funny as an adult.
Yeah.
All right, a movie that we've mentioned many times does not hold up whatsoever, Space Jam from 1996. Patrick Ewing is on the couch at a psychiatrist's office explaining how all his basketball skills are gone, and he says something like, "I can't perform." Then the psychiatrist asks him if he's suffering any other performance issues. Ewing sits up and indignantly says, "No." And the psychiatrist says, "Just asking. My sons were like, 'What's so funny?' When I was this was the person who wrote it. 'What's so funny?' When I was laughing, they were truly too young to understand that Patrick Ewing didn't have those types of performance issues." And then finally, in Frozen 2, you have at the end when Anna is made queen and Kristoff is all dressed up, and she says that he looks nice, but that she prefers him in leather. Little bondage joke for you there. So something I didn't quite pick up, but
No, I didn't catch that either. There's a lot of those on that list that I totally, until you re-triggering, man, it makes me want to look up some just to look for other movies.
Oh, absolutely. Well, folks, that does it for the end of the first hour. Stay tuned. When we come back, we have our call-in topic of real haunted house experiences. We'll see you guys after the long break.
I spend a lot of time in the backyard, and I'm the center of attention at summer barbecues. In '96, I made some of the tastiest s'mores. And in '09, it was me, your backyard fire pit, that accidentally started a wildfire when a summer breeze carried one of my embers into some dry brush.
Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com, brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
What if I told you that a tornado was going to happen tomorrow, right where you live? That it would touch down at exactly 3:17 p.m., and I told you the exact path it would take. You would, of course, prepare. You would talk with your loved ones, and you'd make a plan today. It's true, I can't tell you a tornado will strike tomorrow, but shouldn't you have a plan anyway? Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait, communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
Hello, Kubo. What have you got planned for today?
Come on, this way.
Adventure can be found anywhere, but the best place to start is in the forest.
It's the most powerful magic there is.
You're listening to Fenix Media, the future of broadcasting. To explore our complete lineup, head over to phoenixmedia.us or like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Benji Hire. Coronavirus, the Supreme Court and the QAnon conspiracy theory took centre stage at the rival Trump-Biden town halls on Thursday night. The two candidates face voters rather than facing each other after President Trump declined to take part in a virtual second presidential debate. Here's our US correspondent, Chaguti Dave.
US President Donald Trump's NBC town hall kicked off with a grilling about the coronavirus. Mr. Trump said he didn't remember being tested before the first presidential debate.
I don't know. I don't even remember. I test all the time. But I can tell you this. After the debate, like I guess a day or so, I think it was Thursday evening, maybe even late Thursday evening, I tested positive.
The president denounced white supremacy but failed to condemn the QAnon conspiracy theory. Joe Biden, who's previously advocated for a nationwide mask mandate, in his ABC News town hall admitted it might be difficult to enforce. Biden also said he wasn't a fan of the practice of court packing but didn't rule it out.
Well, I'm not a fan. I then say it depends on how this turns out. Not how he wins, but how it's handled.
Russia has broken its record for new COVID-19 cases, confirming more than 15,000 new ones on Friday. Galina Polanskaya reports from Moscow.
Most of the new cases were registered in the capital, Moscow. Authorities say now the lockdown is not planned, but new restrictions will be introduced next week. From Monday, passengers without masks and gloves will not be allowed in Moscow metro. Children over 11 will have to study from home. Moscovites will also be required to get a QR code in order to enter a bar or a nightclub. Moscow employers are now required to transfer 30% of their staff to work from home. But attempts are still being made to keep the economy running, with Russia even aiming to resume flights to Japan, Serbia and Cuba in November.
Meanwhile, Germany's public health body has warned COVID-19 infections there are now also the highest they've been since the pandemic hit. The country seeing a daily rise in cases as more restrictions are put in place by lawmakers to try to stop the disease spreading even further. Trent Murray is in the German capital.
Over 7,300 cases were registered on Friday. Experts say that increased testing now compared to in March and April explains some of the rise, but there are also concerns about an increasing number of patients suffering serious symptoms from COVID-19 and receiving intensive care treatment. The government says that 655 patients are now in intensive care, with 329 of those on ventilation. Chancellor Angela Merkel is leading a push to try and turn the tide on the resurgence, urging young people to avoid partying together, overseeing curfews in virus hotspots, and encouraging Germans not to travel.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do.
Know someone being bullied online? You can be a witness and make a difference by letting the world know it isn't cool and by letting your friend know you care. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Keyboard Cat, Hamilton the Pug, and Toast Meets World. These are some of the internet's most beloved pets. And they all have one thing in common. Their stories started in a shelter. Start your story. Adopt a dog or cat today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Training that pet to play the keyboard, that's optional. Start a story. Adopt a shelter or rescue pet today. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Allison is perfect. I mean, she'd never tell you that. She's humble and perfect. She likes everyone. She even likes her untidy roommate's weird guinea pig. Allison, wait, are you texting and driving? Allison, no. That's the exact opposite of what I was just saying about you. Why, Allison? Why? Texting and driving makes good people look bad. Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org, brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
We are live outside the home of Joe and Rosie Goddard, where a pretty big tickle fight broke out just minutes ago. Sources say their father instigated the laughter. Let's go inside for a comment. Apparently, they have no comment. Dads, let this be a reminder that it only takes a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
The following is a production of Fenix Media. The views expressed do not necessarily represent those of the company or its advertisers and may contain language that's unsuitable for younger listeners.
Laugh it up, fuzzball.
I'm about to do to you what Limp Bizkit did to music in the late 90s.
Surely you can't be serious. I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Here goes the last DJ.
Gentlemen, I wash my hands of this business.
Back, folks, to the second hour of the Kristian Fenix radio show. It is October 16th. It's a Friday. We are your daily dose of laughs and levity in a crazy, crazy world. Still joined by my co-host, Tony Sanfilippo. Tony, last hour on a Friday, how you holding up?
Feeling good, man. It's going great. It's been a fun, fast hour, and still feeling like a gangster.
Nice. Always good.
Yeah, always good.
Folks, this is the interactive portion of the show where we want to hear from you guys, the listeners, chiming in on our Facebook page. Head over to the live video on Facebook.com/Kristian Fenix Radio. That's Kristian with a K, Phoenix with an F, radio, of course, with an R. And as we have been doing with the call-in topics in this new setup, we are giving you guys the call-in topic the day before, or today we'll give you the call-in topic for Monday, so you guys can call in, chime in, and leave a message at your convenience, as opposed to this 1 15-minute segment that you have to be available at. Again, that number to call is the Fenix Line, 855-FENIX-RADIO. That's 855-FENIX-RDO, or 855-336-4973. Now, before we get to you guys, let's talk about us a little bit. Tony, I know you lived in a haunted house when you were married for a little bit. What are some of the experiences you had there?
No, gosh. This is probably creepier at night. It's kind of lengthy. I know we don't have a lot of time, so I'll trim it. But I used to see like this blurry image off the corner of my eye. We had like a tri-level house.
Okay.
In our bedroom, if you're picturing, this is the couch if you see where I'm sitting. And then off the corner of my eye, you could see like the bedroom. I used to think my ex-wife was standing there because I used to get home late from work, and like I'd sit there and play Call of Duty. That was my thing at the time, and she'd stare at me, like she had done that many times. So I'd always just think it was her. And one time I was just like, I'll be right up, babe. And I look up, and it wasn't her, but I had seen something. And I was like, okay, that's weird. No big deal. So another night I saw it again. And I was like, what the hell do I keep seeing? So I'd never told, Cass about it or nothing like that. I just kind of brushed it off like I'm just tired. I'm seeing things.
Just in case it's all in your head.
Yeah, exactly. So I never shared that story with her or anything. And then it was one night we were watching Walking Dead together. And we had two Shiba Inus, Shadow and Vanilla. One night they had went and they were growling at this. They went up and were growling at this spot where I would see this blurry image. And I look, and Cassie hits me on the shoulder, and she's like, do you see that? And I'm like, oh, good. It's not just me. I'm not crazy. because I saw it again. Where that blurry thing was, I saw it again, and the dogs were right there growling at it. But Cass had seen it too, so that confirmed I wasn't nuts, because I felt like I was just tired and seeing things. So yeah, man, that confirmed that we had something. It was just this weird blur. And it wouldn't hover long, but it was enough for the dogs to acknowledge, myself. Oh, man. And then after we were going through divorce and I was still in the house, I had moved to the guest room, and I had both dogs in the bed with me, and I heard the scratching at the door. Yeah. And I was like, okay, well, crap. I got both dogs here, and she was out with the Grimace. They were out, at McDonald's, chasing the hamburger or whatever. And
a couple fry guys.
But it scared the hell out of me, because I'm like, I got the two dogs with me, and outside you hear this like on the door. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, like a little kid, like, this is gonna save me. I take the damn blanket and I cover, and the dogs are like cuddled by me. So it's like a Scooby-Doo episode, I'm Shaggy, like Scoob, like. And then what was worse is the scratch and I'm not making this up, on that I did not go to check the door. I'm not stupid. I've seen enough horror movies. You don't go check it.
Right.
And that scratch went from the door along the bathroom wall. So the bathroom wall is over here.
Oh, you could
just went along.
You could visibly see
scratch.
Oh, you could hear it, but
I couldn't see it.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't see nothing, but you hear this as if like whatever's dragging their nail along the wall right there. So that house had some bad juju, and I'm telling you, I had some bad feelings. Even when I'd go down to our basement, I'd get that uneasy feeling like somebody was right. Uneasy. Love the house. It was a beautiful house, but definitely had some crazy ass experiences there. So
that is terrifying.
And yes, I told Lacey and Mike that when we went up to Estes for that overnight Halloween thing. Scared the crap out of them. But that is a legit true story that really happened, and can't explain it. I'm telling you, I don't know what it was.
Oh, I know what it was. It was a good ghost.
No! Yeah, it was freaky, man. Definitely uneasy feeling. So.
Well, luckily it never harmed you. It never did anything to you. You didn't wake up with weird hand-shaped bruises on your body. So, if anything, it was just trying to get you to leave, which you ultimately did. So.
And ultimately, yeah, we left. Yeah, that's Raji's house now.
Well, folks. As I mentioned, it is the interactive portion of the show. We are getting ready to head into our break. When we come back, we want to hear from you about your real haunted house experiences. I've got a few to share myself, and I've got some stories as backup. So, folks, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
I spend a lot of time in the backyard, and I'm the center of attention at summer barbecues. In '96, I made some of the tastiest s'mores. And in '09, it was me, your backyard fire pit, that accidentally started a wildfire when a summer breeze carried one of my embers into some dry brush.
Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
What if I told you that a tornado was going to happen tomorrow, right where you live? That it would touch down at exactly 3:17 p.m., and I told you the exact path it would take. You would, of course, prepare. You would talk with your loved ones, and you'd make a plan today. It's true, I can't tell you a tornado will strike tomorrow, but shouldn't you have a plan anyway? Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the ad. The storks are bringing me a baby brother! We can do this together!
All right, let's go!
Storks know how to keep kids safe. Do you?
What?
Oh my gosh, you don't know!
I know!
You don't! Oh man, you laugh when you're uncomfortable.
No!
Making sure your child is in the right car seat is one of the steps to safer travel.
I will rock this!
You will rock this!
To know for sure that your child is in the right car seat for their age and size, visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat. Cool. Very cool. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
It's important to plan ahead for emergencies, like the storm. When it kicked in, we had a plan.
Separated.
We were able to get in touch with each other in no time.
Idea how to find each other.
The whole experience was fine.
The most frightening 10 hours of my life.
If there's one piece of advice I'd offer other moms out there, it's to stay calm and keep to the plan.
Message.
Some parents plan ahead, some don't. Make sure you know where to find your family in an emergency. Start your plan at ready.gov. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Get everything you need for the Kristian Fenix Radio Show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. Indeed. This is the Kristian Fenix Radio Show. It is Friday, October 16th. We are smack dab in the middle of our call-in topic, our chime-in topic, whatever you may want to call it. We are talking about your haunted house experiences. Now, folks, feel free to chime in on our Facebook comments section over at the live video on facebook.com/Kristian Fenix Radio. It's funny, I just lost my train of thought because I was thinking about my haunted house experience. And trying to figure out which one to talk about first. So the first one is, we lived in Southern California in Thousand Oaks, and it was a track house. It was a fairly new build. Don't think it was built on any sort of Indian graveyards or anything along those lines, but there was certainly something in the house. Very similar to your situation, Tony. You would see something out of the corner of your eye. It felt like it was like a little girl that was there. You would just pick up and catch. I was in elementary school at the time, so 5th, 6th grade, and I'd be doing homework and doing, just working away, and my TV would come on out of nowhere, or my radio would come on out of nowhere, and it was more than likely a friendly ghost because, when it would come on, I'd say, come on, I'm trying to study, and then it would turn off. And so it would respond to things that you were doing. And so while I never felt really in danger at any point, you always knew something was there. And, you never saw it face on. And like you mentioned, Tone, it was always something just sort of out of the corner of your eye. And then there were enough things that happened around the house to make it spooky, but not terrifying. So,
crazy, man.
Yeah.
But I like the fact that you're like, hey, I'm trying to study. Okay.
Give me a break.
Martin, you don't want to watch Transformers? Screw you. I'll see what Alex is doing.
Little girl probably just wanted to watch Gem and.
Yeah, she did. I don't know why she talks like this. It's not a real good girl voice. Would she smoke meth?
Maybe that's why she was dead.
Yeah. Hiya, homie.
And then the other one that comes to mind is one that didn't happen to me directly. We were actually in the process of moving from Minnesota to New York. And my parents had gone out to New York with my brother. And we were looking in the small town of Warwick. Well, there weren't any hotels there, but there was this place called the Chateau. And the Chateau was an old Revolutionary War mansion that had been converted into a bed and breakfast. But because it was in the middle of the winter, they had shut it down, so nobody was there. But the realtor had a connection with the owner, and so they said, you know what, we'll open it up. You guys can stay there during your stay. Well, my parents got in there and got in pretty late, and as they started settling in, they would hear footsteps walking around. And obviously houses settle and they make sounds, but these were clear as day footsteps. The other thing is, my mom would be unpacking in the bedroom, and the water in the faucet turns on in the bathroom. She thought that was strange, so she walked in, she turned it off, walked back into the bedroom, and the water started running again. So she called my dad in, they both walked in, they closed the faucet, cinched it down nice and tight, and as they're standing there watching it, the faucet handle starts turning in front of them and water starts coming out.
Hey, that one gave me some goosebumpers.
Needless
to be cold, but could be a little creepy.
Yep. Needless to say, they only stayed that one night. They found other room situation after that. I wouldn't stick around for much longer after.
No, my gosh, that is freaky, man. That's your mom had comment when I posted that yesterday for people that drop stories, and she goes, "Oh wait," she goes, "Kristian will tell you a story about it. He'll tell you all about it." Well, she calls you Chris, like I do. But
yeah.
Nonetheless, to actually hear that is definitely. These are the stories I love hearing, man. It's just like. It just also goes to, like you're able to share a story, your parents are. I've had one. Lacey's story was from like yesterday, just the creepy vibes at the Stanley, and her and Inga took that picture and the little girl's face, like a blurred face of this girl appeared between them. I mean, they didn't see it until they went through pictures. Then it was like,
Well, and it goes to show that, there's more out there in the world than we understand. Some chalk it up to religion, some chalk it up to, the metaphysical, but ultimately, it's things that exist in the universe that we as humans just can't contemplate yet or can't quantify. And so, it's fun to make stories around it and, sort of add to the fictionalized fun of what it could be. Speaking of which, and Tony, I don't know if you've got anybody who's chimed in on your side.
No, I was going to say, if I was just checking just to see if I did. I have got nothing. I mean, I have another one that happened, but you were about to say something, so I don't want to steal
I was just going to start going through a list of some of the more haunted houses in the U.S., but before we get to that, let's go ahead and hear your story.
Yeah, so when I moved out for the first time, I lived on Northgate Lane, that one where they ended up putting that freeway bridge over. Mm-hmm. I lived with Andrew Nixon and Skylar Angelini, and we moved out in this little house, and we just rented it. Well, we set it up, and I remember, again, I was with Cass. I mean, we were just boyfriend, girlfriend. And she went to Mr. Carson High that night. Like, I don't know why they had that thing, but remember they used to do Mr. Carson High. I was never Mr. Carson High.
Me neither.
But anyways, I was home by myself. Andrew was working, and Skylar was at work too. It was just me at the house, and I decided, I'm going to take a nap. Cass was going to go to Mr. Carson High. When she comes back, we were going to go on a date. I was laying in the bed, and out of nowhere, got the eye shut, my light turns on. Like the bedroom light. My door shut. Bedroom light turns on, and I'm just like, goosebumps. And I got up, shut it off, but the switch popped up. I'm just like, that was weird. I don't know what that was. And then the next day, I'm home alone again. There's a knock on my bedroom door, so I go to open it, and I heard somebody walking in the hallway. And I just thought it was Skylar and Andrew. I open it up. Skylar's not home. Andrew's not home. Nobody's in the house. And because at first it's like, well, that's weird. I'm like, haha, you guys are funny, messing with me. But but then all of a sudden I got this really uneasy, like hard to breathe feeling where it was like, it feels weird. Like it was hard to breathe. So there was like some weird feeling. So I went and saw my sister. We went and had lunch or something. But then the next day, I didn't tell any of the guys this, and Skylar's like, hey, dude, were you knocking on my bedroom door the other night? And I go, that was you. And he goes, what are you talking about? So I told him my story. He goes, no, dude, I was home. Somebody knocked on my door, and I checked. It wasn't you. It wasn't Andrew. And he goes, it freaked me out because I heard somebody walking in the hallway. So we had that experience in that house, but it was cool, weird because, again, he had the same experience that I had, but we never saw anything. and those were the only 2 experiences I had there. But yeah.
Wow. Well, again, you don't know if it's a friendly ghost, if it's I want to say Maleficent.
I'm just glad this thing hasn't followed me, because I thought that again when the first story I told, I thought like maybe like there was a bad spirit that just followed me, because there are stories of that where they'll, if you open something or you come across something, it follows you around. So
that's a poltergeist tone. If that's the case, we got to get you an old priest and a young priest.
I've not had. I'll knock on some wood right there. There has been no experiences in my townhome with that. Thank God.
That's good. Stacy chimed in. She mentioned, as well, we know her husband passed away in the house, and it was bad there for a while. She said one morning a blue glass was chucked across her kitchen and shattered into a million pieces after I told him to leave. That's terrifying.
Dude, Stace, that's creepy. Woo. I don't know what I would do if something flew across the room. I don't know what I would do.
Right. It's one thing for a TV to turn on or a faucet to open up a little bit, but for something to fly across the room, see ya, I'm out of here.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of like earlier at the beginning of the show. I don't know if we were on break. I think it was on break, that bird that just flew into your window.
Yeah.
That had to scare the crap out of you.
It did. Yeah, so in my home office here, I look out a window at the out into the front yard, and I'm sitting here just working on something during the break, and just out of the corner of my eye, I see something fly into the window and just this loud thud. Apparently, a bird decided it wanted to try and get in, didn't realize the window was there, and hit the window pretty hard. So now I'm probably going to be haunted by the ghost of that bird.
I want like a phoenix.
Why?
Yeah, picture a little bird doing that.
Exactly.
Stacy, you'd be Mrs. Carson High, not Mr. Carson High.
Right. Hey, in this day and age, you never know. Well, in any case, folks, that does it for our topic of your real haunted house experiences. When we come back, the G-Man is going to be joining us, running down his NFL Week 6 picks. Don't miss it. He is on a roll with his winning record. Folks, we'll see you guys in a few.
Okay, what are you wearing right now?
Nothing.
That's right. So mommy's gonna teach you how to dress yourself. Underwear always comes first, name tag at the back, then pants, then shirt. Get the first button in the right hole or you have to start all over. Socks going first, then shoes, right on right, left on left. With shoelaces, just take the ends, cross them over, switch the loops, the rabbit goes down the hole, pull tight, and you're left with bunny ears. Got it? Why are your pants on your head?
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
This message is for all of you sitting in the passenger seat. And apologies if it gets a little uncomfortable, but how does it feel to be at the mercy of someone who thinks a random text is more important than your life? Someone who takes their eyes off the road while speeding along in a 3-ton hunk of steel. Freaky, right? Well, why not just ask them to stop? Or better yet, volunteer to text for them. It might be a little awkward, but believe me, you'll live.
Learn more at StopTextStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
We are live outside the home of Joe and Rosie Goddard, where a pretty big tickle fight broke out just minutes ago. Sources say their father instigated the laughter. Let's go inside for a comment. Apparently, they have no comment. Dads, let this be a reminder that it only takes a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
How's it going?
I'm having a stroke.
Are you going to shake my hand?
I'm having a stroke.
Wow, you're not even moving your arm.
I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
It may be hard to believe, but people just like you are already saving money. FeedThePig.org makes it easy. Their simple savings plan teaches you how to start saving without going overboard. So you don't need to start foraging wild berries.
I was skeptical, but these are actually pretty good.
You don't need to sell your soul to the devil.
$15 is the best I can do.
You just need feedthepig.org. Don't get left behind. Get tips and tools at feedthepig.org. Brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
Welcome to Calvin's Barbershop.
You all gotta see this.
I don't even want to know what you're looking at on that phone.
Well, you should. I was learning about the dangers of high blood pressure and that we need to get ours checked regularly. High blood pressure can increase the risk of heart attack or stroke, but this text program can help keep it at a healthy range. Just text Barbershop to 97779 to sign up.
I'll get right on it as soon as I'm done with this baby panda video.
Text Barbershop to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
Get everything you need for the Kristian Fenix Radio Show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. And we are back, folks. This is the Kristian Fenix Radio Show. It is Friday, October 16th. Now, we mention it a couple times each show. It is the Fenix Line, a 24-hour day, 7-day-a-week voicemail line, giving you guys the opportunity to chime in on any topic whatsoever. For instance, maybe you want to share your real haunted house experience, or you want to call in for our Monday call-in topic, which is going to be the worst scary movie of all time. I think Tony and I share the same one there, so there's a lot of bad ones out there. There's a few good ones, but for the majority, there's bad ones. But what's the worst one? You can chime in on that Fenix line. That's 855-FENIX-RADIO, 855-FENIX-RDO, or 855-336-4973. We will put those together and put them out in a future show. Now, if you guys are watching, you recognize a familiar face. It is the G-Man who's here with his Week 6 NFL picks. I've got just one question for you guys.
Are you ready for some football?
Yeah, I'm ready for some football. Now, G-Man, you went 3-0 last week. You're 9-3 overall, so you're killing it. Folks, if you're listening to this and you are not betting on these picks, well, you're losing money. You're losing out. G-Man's winning big with his picks. So, we've got a rundown of 3 more picks for this week. Let's start off with our wild card matchup. Panthers versus Bears. Where do you stand on that, G-Man?
This week, I'm going with the Panthers. Yeah, I've been watching them pretty close for the last 3 weeks. In the beginning of the year, once a team, they start out 0-2, and there's kind of like a put up or shut up moment for all football teams that find themselves in this position. I don't think anybody in the league has come out after an 0-2 start like the Panthers. Are definitely at the top of the heap as far as that goes. And then looking at the Bears, of course, I picked them at home last week against the Colts. Was that last week?
Was that last week? I don't know.
Anyway,
I don't follow the Bears. So
either last week or 2 weeks ago, I was starting to lose track with all these games. But yeah, they actually didn't come through, and so I saw a couple of weaknesses. I think, as always, Chicago's offense, can stall at any time.
Exactly.
You think about who is the big playmaker on Chicago, and everybody's just like,
you got Montgomery at running back. That's about all I can think of off the top of my head right now.
Well, and their record of 4-1 doesn't really translate to how the team is overall. Those 4 wins were more lucky wins than anything else.
The Bears, yes, exactly, because there's at least 2 games that they could have or probably should have lost. So that being said, that pick right there, 1.5 points, which is basically a field goal, and they're at home, and they're on a roll. They've been doing this without Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Which is a statement in itself.
Oh, Mike Davis has stepped right up in that role. He's been killing it in the fantasy world. So for running back step up, that's a huge piece right there.
Absolutely.
And if something does happen where he goes down again, it's not only somebody that that you're going to have confidence in, but if the rookie contract runs out, man, this guy is making himself a payday already.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and even if he doesn't stick with the Panthers, he's going to be the prime running back for another team that needs it.
Absolutely.
All right, let's move on to our marquee matchup. We've got Brady versus Rodgers. You're taking the Packers -1 versus the Bucks.
Yeah, I think the line actually started with the Bucks -1, if I'm not mistaken, and so the smart money has been going over to the Packers. And same type of thing. Didn't quite know what was going to happen to the Packers this year in LaFleur's second year as a head coach. And how can you do any better? You know, they start out with a divisional game on the road and pull that out. And when I look at the two teams, especially the big key here to me is the Packers are coming off of a bye.
Right.
And so they've had literally 2 weeks to prepare for this one game. It includes all the tape study. They were probably watching the game of the Bucks last week. And just that little nudge right there, you know, I think is going to prevail. They're both 1-1. So from a competitive standpoint also, you know, Aaron's just the younger guy. His skill set is still there, I think. And just the defense comparison between the two, the Bucks have gotten in holes early on this year. And if they do that against the Packers, I don't think it's not going to be a Tom Brady comeback this year.
It's funny.
And so since it's just a point, if I go up to the board and if it's -1, I buy the hook and move on.
It's funny, you don't hear Rodgers being the younger guy too often, but next to Brady, he certainly is. And
and Rodgers is having such a stellar year too. I mean, just making all kinds of plays with people that you would never even think about it.
Yeah, but to be fair, I mean, Brady's looking more and more impressive as the weeks go on. He's starting to jive a little bit better with the rest of his offense, and it was actually the Bears against the Bucks last week. So that's they just narrowly lost to the Bears last week.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and that's one again. I was surprised. That's who it was. So they played. It was a Thursday night game, right?
It was.
That's what threw me off. And so a few days, 5 days before that, that's when the Colts Chicago game was. So.
Yeah, and so both teams are going to be fairly well rested. Even though Bucks aren't coming off of bye week, they come off of a longer week, having played on Thursday.
Yep, absolutely.
All right.
And on the other side, as far as the coach goes, I would probably give the nod to Bruce Arians. I love Bruce Arians. He's really, really good. I love just the way it started out, and he wasn't afraid to give Tom Brady any crap.
Yeah, like he didn't just kiss his ass. He basically just said, "Hey, I don't care who you are. You need to play."
Yeah, it was sort of
he screwed up. He knew it.
Yeah, it was sort of a shape up or ship out type moment. And, if you look at Brady's performance over the following weeks, he's been doing better and better. All right.
Minus just forgot the 4th down thing, right?
Yeah, which is strange for him.
That was unbelievable, man.
That was weird.
And you know what? I just have to say something. When it comes down to chastisement for Tom Brady, he grew up where Sarah High School. He played Sarah High School just a mile from where I was living when I was playing ball at College of San Mateo. So the fact that he doesn't shake Nick Foles' hand, what's up with that, dude? What's up?
Yeah, that's not a goat move.
You have kids, and you're like showing your kids like some bad sportsmanship there. So, he's got knocked down a few notches, just because of that act right there.
Well,
yeah, man, you gotta definitely show that sportsmanship. Did you see like Herbert at the end with Breeze? Like they embraced, and then Drew Brees took a picture with them. They smiled at the camera. They were shaking hands, and and I thought that was really classy of Breeze. What a showdown that was on Monday night.
That was fantastic.
And with Tony and I being Broncos fans, we're not the biggest Brady fans to begin with. And while he is impressive to watch, he's never quite sat right, in our minds, just being fans of the Broncos.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'm admittedly a little biased. My college coach was Tom Brady's mentor, Tom Martinez, in the Hall of Fame, College Hall of Fame.
Oh, very cool.
So I have some, again, I've been watching Brady too, and how could you 6 Super Bowls? I mean, love him or hate him, you got to just tip your hat to him. But this again has left a super, super sour taste in my mouth about the way that he's conducting himself. He just comes off like a sniveling little whiny baby that if he doesn't win, he wants to take his ball and go home. Maybe it's too much, too many nights sleeping with a supermodel. I don't know. I don't have any point of reference with that.
You mean you can't relate? That's odd.
Come on.
Well, I do have a supermodel, but she just hasn't been in the magazines.
Good save. All right. Moving on to our best bet matchup Colts versus Bengals, both teams coming off of big losses last week. Colts allowed 32 points against the Browns of all teams. You're giving Colts minus 7.5 versus the Bengals.
Yeah, which admittedly, this makes me the most nervous because philosophically, you know, when it gets to a touchdown or over, I'm really kind of reluctant to even looking at those games, you know, but really just breaking it down again. The Colts are getting ready to go into a bye. So this week, like in all locker rooms, the coaches are like, hey, you guys, whatever the record is we want to go into this, obviously, on a winning record. Who wants 2 weeks of the taste of a loss in your mouths while we're, you know, going through, you know, the bye week? So there's super extra preparation mentally, physically. And so that being combined with the fact that they're playing the Bengals, you know, with all the issues that they have, you know, there's obviously still a rebuilding team.
They've been rebuilding for the last 5 years.
You know, 1-3-1. They pretty much know that, you know, it's not going to happen this year. And they're definitely in that growth mode. And in spite of the fact that I'm really reluctant laying 7.5 most of the time, this is one of those times where I'm going to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's comfortable enough knowing that Bengals team and how much of a mess they are right now.
Yeah.
So to recap, we have our wild card matchup. You're taking Panthers minus 1.5 versus the Bears. The marquee matchup, which is Packers -1 versus the Bucks, and best bet matchup is our Colts versus minus 7.5 versus the Bengals. G-Man, as always, we appreciate your time with us. Now, go ahead and promote what you got going on. You and I and your bandmates actually recorded a thing for our new show, Fenix Rising, for Seedless Tendency, which debuts at 4 p.m. this afternoon. So you guys can get more G-Man there. But what else you got going on with Seedless Tendency, Big Bongo Productions, and Music Mothership right now?
Yeah, all those three, you know, are, of course, keep you a little bit busy. In time there's a little pocket of time, you know, it seems to get eaten up. The interview was a lot of fun. Thank you very much for that. We were kind of a litmus test, you know, coming out the chute. And I felt a little bit strange because I didn't have my trademark goatee. You know, anytime Seedless performs, you know what I mean? I don't show up without that. So, but we're in the off season right now. So G-Man, you know, the G-Man page, you know, just like we're doing here, you know, I've been kind of just gravitating towards football and football picks and trying to develop some video content. And Big Bongo Productions, of course, which is the arm of Seedless Tendency, video production, any kind of film, event management stuff that we do in the area. And as far as the band, we have one more video to produce with our remake of our song Rain. And we're working with the Solace Tree. The song has to do with suicide prevention. Specifically, the song was written about teen suicide. And we've talked a little bit about that before. So lots of stuff keeping the G-Man busy, you know, with family and, of course, life in general. So just like you guys, you know, we keep on chugging away.
Exactly. Well, folks, that does it for this week's edition of G-Man's Matchups. If you want more G-Man, stay tuned at 4 p.m. for Fenix Rising with Seedless Tendency. Folks, when we come back, it is the fourth and final segment, and it is time for This Day in History. Don't go anywhere.
Keyboard Cat, Hamilton the Pug, and Toast Meets World. These are some of the internet's most beloved pets, and they all have one thing in common. Their stories started in a shelter. Start your story. Adopt a dog or cat today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Training that pet to play the keyboard, that's optional. Start a story. Adopt a shelter or rescue pet today. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Okay, what are you wearing right now?
Nothing.
That's right. So mommy's gonna teach you how to dress yourself. Underwear always comes first, name tag at the back, then pants, then shirt. Get the first button in the right hole or you have to start all over. Socks going first, then shoes, right on right, left on left. With shoelaces, just take the ends, cross them over, switch the loops, the rabbit goes down the hole, pull tight, and you're left with bunny ears. Got it? Why are your pants on your head?
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
How's it going? I'm having a stroke. Are you going to shake my hand? I'm having a stroke. Wow, you're not even moving your arm. I'm having a stroke. When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST, F, face drooping, A, arm weakness, S, speech difficulty, T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
The Storks are bringing me a baby brother. We can do this together.
All right, let's go. Storks know how to keep kids safe. Do you? What?
Oh my gosh, you don't know.
I know.
You don't? Oh man, you laugh when you're uncomfortable.
No. Making sure your child is in the right car seat is one of the steps to safer travel.
I will rock this.
You will rock this. To know for sure that your child is in the right car seat for their age and size, visit safercar.gov/the right seat.
Cool. Very cool.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Welcome to Calvin's Barbershop.
You all got to see this.
I don't even want to know what you're looking at on that phone.
Well, you should. I was learning about the dangers of high blood pressure and that we need to get ours checked regularly. High blood pressure can increase the risk of heart attack or stroke, but this text program can help keep it at a healthy range. Just text barbershop to 97779 to sign up.
I'll get right on it as soon as I'm done with this baby panda video.
Text barbershop to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
It's important to plan ahead for emergencies, like the storm. When it kicked in, we had a plan.
Separated.
We were able to get in touch with each other in no time.
Idea how to find each other.
The whole experience was
the
fine.
most frightening 10 hours of my life.
If there's one piece of advice I'd offer other moms out there, it's to stay calm and keep to the plan.
Some parents plan ahead, some don't. Make sure you know where to find your family in an emergency. Start your plan at ready.gov. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Get everything you need for the Kristian Fenix Radio Show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. Well, we did it, folks. We made it to the final segment of the final show of the week. This is the Kristian Fenix Radio Show. It is Friday, October 16th. Now, if you missed a portion of the show or you want to go back and catch up on any of the previous shows, it's easy enough to do so. Head over to phoenixmedia.us, click on the show's link, scroll on down to the Kristian Fenix Radio Show. From there, you can get video, you can get audio as well, or head over to wherever you get podcasts. Apple, Google, Stitcher, Spotify, Anchor Breaker, TuneIn, iHeart, Doozer, Dozer, Geezer, Gozer.
Are you a god?
And James Hetfield just summoned the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. We are all doomed. Folks, while you are there...
Oh, in trouble.
While you're there, be sure to subscribe. That way you always have the latest episode. Leave a review, let us know what you think, and tell your friends, because why, Tone?
Sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring, especially on a Friday. Well, we care about you guys so much that we like to drop a little knowledge on you, hopefully make you laugh at the same time. It's time for This Day in History.
Traversing the globe for the stories that turn the world on its head. It's This Day in History with your correspondent on the beat,
Kristian Fenix.
Thank you, Siri. All right, on This Day in History, a name that comes up every once in a while. This day in 1813 was the Battle of Leipzig, the largest battle in Europe prior to World War I, where Napoleon's forces were defeated by Prussia, Austria, and Russia. And, how does he wash away his sorrows, Tone?
With a big thing from the Piggly Wiggly.
Excellent!
Gosh, give me some Piggly Wiggly. Tina, you fat cow. I got water with.
It's funny, I was thinking back on it the other day. I don't think the Piggly Wiggly is what that trough is actually called in the movie. I know Farrell's was the ice cream shop, but I forget what the trough was called. Piggly Wiggly was a convenience store.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
But he liked the Piggly Wiggly.
He did.
But he just got a drink from there, I thought, though, right?
No, remember he had that giant trough of ice cream that...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. No, that was Farrell's, but we digress. Moving on, this day in 1847, Charlotte Bronte's book, Jane Eyre, is published. Tony, is that in your library?
It is.
It's
Definitely. It's sitting right on the shelf, like right over here, right next to my John Elway magic moment, folks, right here.
John Elway, Jane Eyre.
Yeah. Charlotte, you're radiant, Charlotte.
Little side tangent on John Elway. Have you seen his latest pharmaceutical commercial?
No.
My
gosh.
Yeah, we saw it the last night, and it's something with his hands. I guess he had hand surgery, but it's a condition that sounded like something the Swedish chef would say. I suffer from Herta.
Did he have his big teeth out the whole time?
Oh yeah.
Hey guys, I had to Herta. I'll throw you touch.
The screen went back and forth between his giant hands and his giant teeth. So yeah, can't escape either one. All right, moving on. This day in 1859, abolitionist John Brown leads 21 in a raid on the federal arsenal in Harper's Ferry, Virginia. Something you don't hear about much in the history books, but something that's interesting nonetheless.
Absolutely, and I apologize. They're blowing leaves again outside. It just kicked up again.
It's the way it goes. It's live radio. Moving on, this day in 1875, Brigham Young University is founded in Provo, Utah, after LDS Church founder Brigham Young.
Ooh, well, that's very good for him, man. He gets a woo.
Their BYU, their football program's been getting better and better in recent years.
Yeah, they've actually had they've got a good sports program. You hear a lot about them.
Yeah. Fun to watch, and football in general is fun to watch. But when little teams start, getting up into the big lights, it's always sort of that underdog story that gives you something to root for.
Absolutely.
All right. This day in 1916, Margaret Sanger opens the first birth control clinic in the U.S. at 46 Amboy Street in Brooklyn. Prior to that, I assumed that it was less safe to practice birth control and certain things that had to be done, and good for her for providing a safe place for women to go.
Absolutely.
Good job.
This day in 1923, the Disney Brothers Cartoon Studio is founded. I didn't realize that is what it was before Walt Disney sort of branched out on his own.
No, I didn't either. Oh, we're gonna call it the Disney Brothers Studio. There you go, Oswald. You're gonna do your own.
This day in 1938, Aaron Copland and Eugene Loring's ballet Billy the Kid premieres in Chicago. I don't often associate Billy the Kid with ballet, but hey.
He did time travel with Bill and Ted, so, maybe he picked up ballet along the way.
Could be.
It's believable.
Okay. We don't talk World War II much on here, mostly because it's just very depressing, but here's something that is worth talking about. This day in 1946, 10 Nazi leaders are hanged as war criminals after Nuremberg war trials, including Wilhelm Keitel, Joachim von Ribbentrop, and Alfred Jodl.
Jodl?
I always thought it was funny when in movies they say he will be hung by the neck until dead. Well, who's being sentenced to hung into the neck till mildly inconvenienced?
Yeah, you're like, this just hurts. This just hurts now. Could we undo?
Be like, guys, can we rethink this a little bit? Who knows?
Yep.
All right, Tony, I've been throwing authors at you all week to see if you know the book that they wrote. Here's the latest one. This day in 1950, the first edition of C.S. Lewis's book.
I don't know.
The Lion, the Witch,
author.
and the Wardrobe is released.
Ooh, yes, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. That's correct. I have read that book as a young lad.
Now, did you read any of the follow-ups? Prince Caspian, I can't think of what the other ones are, but there was a whole series of books around the Chronicles of Narnia.
No, can't say I have. Not that I remember, at least.
Okay, all right. Those were fun, though. Those were fun reading as kids. Moving on, this day in 1953, Fidel Castro is sentenced to 15 years in Havana. Obviously, he came back and retook power, and Didn't he die a couple years ago? I think his brother's in charge now, right?
Havana, ooh la la. I've been banished to Havana, Havana, oh la la.
Goodbye.
Speaking of Fidel Castro, this day in 1962, the Cuban Missile Crisis begins as JFK has shown photos confirming the presence of Soviet missiles in Cuba. That, I'm sure, was a terrifying time to live through.
Oh, absolutely. That whole era where it was like everyone had a nuclear bomb and they were worried about nuclear war. Oh, geez.
It was
you hear about it now and it's still a scary thing, but it's not as, threatened as much as it was back then, because that you didn't know what it could do, and it's like,
It's always scary. Always scary. Yeah, it's known as the Cold War. Of course, it wasn't like a physical, gun battle altercation, but a lot of stuff came out of that that were scary for the American people, including the whole duck and cover campaign, which I'm sure would have saved you at school from a nuclear blast, right?
When there's a nuclear blast, kids, you're going to need to just go under your desk.
Duck and cover.
Okay? You're going to just kiss your knees and then tucker your butt cheeks and kiss your ass goodbye, because you're gone. Right, Carl? Carl! That's right. We're about to blow ass here.
This day in 1984, Desmond Tutu, the South African Anglican Archbishop, wins his Nobel Peace Prize. Good for him. This day in 1985, Intel introduces the 32-bit 80386 microcomputer chip, which by today's standards is slow.
Very slow.
Very, very slow.
Slow.
All right. And then finally, in 1992, this day, the 1,700th edition of the David Letterman Show debuts. That's a lot of shows to do. I mean, we do 5 shows a week here, but I couldn't imagine getting up to 1,700 shows. It's a lot to do, a lot to take in.
Lots to take in.
All right, let's run down some of today's holidays. Today is Global Cat Day. It's National Boss Day. National Cut Up Your Credit Card Day. National Department Store Day. Here's one for you. National Liqueur Day. National
I like that.
Mammograph Day. National Dictionary Day. National Learn a Word Day. I would assume that that's about the same as National Dictionary Day.
Yeah, learn a word, man.
World Spine Day. You got to have some backbone. World Student Day, which students right now are not really appreciating how that all is going. And about as most general of a day as you can get, World Food Day.
Food.
Not a specific food, just food. So that's the way it rolls. But folks, that does it for our first week back. New network. We enjoyed it. Join us on Monday when we come back for another brand new episode of the Kristian Fenix Radio Show. Until then, have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you guys on Monday.
Have a great weekend, everyone.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. Look at this